So that's unfortunately almost all Spanish I know, so I have to speak in English. So I'm very flattered to be here, and it's a real pleasure to have this talk. If I'm speaking too fast or any other questions, just please interrupt me on the way, and we go for as far. So as a background for myself, I've been 12 years now working for Nokia and 10 years in Nokia Research Center. And I've always been looking for these mobile services and how people are using mobile phones. So non-technical aspects rather than the technology. So if you're expecting technology, you know, you'll be a little bit disappointed, I guess. So I started to think about this mobile media and web 2.0, and I usually think about stories when I'm thinking about media. And for me, the media is about good stories, and really go for it. Oh, sorry. Okay, it's one of these rock and roll microphones, so you have to hold them close. So like I said, for me the stories is about really this kind of image that it's a very cozy environment where you are very immersed in the story, you are within the story, you are listening to the story. And I think that's the thing that it matters in media. And really the good stories, they are immersive, they are taking you away from the normal life, and I think that's where we should start a discussion. So if you think about the mobile media, I think here is the ultimate immersive storytelling tool at the moment in the world which we have to compete. So it's very robust. I can drop it on the floor, I can stand over it, and it still works. I can still pick it up and start reading. And at least myself, if I'm immersed in the book, I can't hear anything outside of the world. So it's really immersive. Then if you look for maximizing the immersion, we have a perfect solution for that as well. It requires mobility, it's not portable. You just have to go there. And usually you go with your friends. So that's the maximum. The third one, which I see as a kind of a big immersion, is mobile devices and mobile phones especially, or telephones in general. And they are all about social immersion. So you don't have to go anywhere else than public transportation, metros or buses, and listen what people are speaking on the phones. And they're really immersed into the discussion. So they are sharing all the intimate thoughts with the complete strangers, because they are immersed with the discussion with somebody else. So it's really, you're carrying all your social contacts in your pockets, and that's very addictive and very immersive. But this is how I see the background for the mobiles. And there's some proof for this trend. At the moment, there's already 2 billion mobile phones, so every third of population in the world has a mobile phone. That's a big number. That's the biggest number of anything in a consumer electronics history. And that just proves that the social connections are crucial for the people. So the communication is the thing. When I joined Nokia in 95, the text messaging, the SMS, was just starting. It was a technology gimmick that nobody really believed in, that except some of the few thought that there's something in it. And I remember in 96 when it really started, that the operators, our friends, they started to understand that there's business potential in there, and there started to be more text messaging capable phones. And then there has been some technological advanced, like this T9 predictive text input, which makes the text messaging easier and so forth. But really, if you think about text messaging, it's a bad user interface. It's limited communication capability, and still it's hugely popular. So what is background there? It can't be the technology itself. But for me, it's one form of this kind of a non-direct communication, which is still very guaranteed that it works. So it's asymmetric communication in a sense. So it complements the mobile phone discussion very well. So looking from that background and the background of computing itself, I think that everybody knows the evolution of computers, starting from mainframes into the personals and then finally into the laptops. And now we enter in a phase that PC, I think, is at the peak of its existence as it is. So the penetration of PCs are not growing that fast as like mobile phones. So the big actually belief that we have in Nokia is that is backed by some of the economists and other thinkers also, is that the PC is well introduced itself in the world, and it has very much kind of democratized the whole computation, so everybody can have access to the computer in some way or another. Even if taking the third world, for example India with communal computing, communal PC type of activities, giving access to internet from far villages. But for us, it seems that the mobile phone is the one that is really democratizing this. So there are far more mobile phones in the third world countries than there are PCs, and that's kind of fact. And they are not only used for traditional person-to-person calls, but for example this kind of village phones that are used for speeding up the business in village. So it's a big investment from one village, but it then serves people from like 10 to 100 people and then keep better income. So in that way, mobile phone is even more equal than a PC. So this is what Nokia is trying to build on. So this is the grand vision of the Nokia N series, which is the high-end models of our rank. So I will use this this N series as an example of things and try to highlight what we are doing in Nokia Research that actually complements and even enhance these visions that we have in the Nokia N series. As a disclaimer, I have to say that Nokia N series is really targeted for like only 250 million people in the world at the moment, so all the first adapters, the technical, the gadget freaks, like if you like to say, and in that sense they don't feel the kind of democratized vision I shared. But these things are just the peak. The rest of the technology will follow very soon. So what mobile phone can already do? It's multitasking. It has more capabilities than doing the phone calls. You have a serious application on top of it. You can personalize it, add applications. I used to work for wearable computers, and the wearable computer definition is it's always on, it's always with you, and it's customizable for the tasks of the users. And I think mobile phone is in there now at the moment.